for today's edition of Pick Central. We are live on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube channel. I'm hosting once again today, filling in for Brandon Walker. I'm Ben Mintz. Brandon on the mend with COVID. I think he's feeling a little better. I certainly wish him a speedy recovery. Always great to have him in here. His presence is certainly missed, but we're going to hold down the fort while he's gone. And I want to thank yesterday. Had a great time with Owen and Coach Doug's. And Owen, you're back today. What's up, man? How are you?
How's it going? Happy to be here.
Heck yeah, man. Happy to have you here as well. And Big T joining us today. Big T and I have been working together on some college baseball stuff. And also, we've got a little SEC camaraderie going. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. How are y'all?
Doing good, and we got we're going to do a variety of topics today. Obviously, the biggest one, the Masters, just getting started. Nobody's, I believe, 2 under in the lead right now, so nobody's really jumped off big to the lead. We're going to talk some NBA, some MLB, and we're also going to recap some of the NFL offseason quarterback moves. I hadn't really got a chance to get into all that lately, and a lot of things have been, a lot of people have moved around. Jake Marsh going to stop in here for 5 to 10 minutes, recap a little of the NCAA tournament. So we've kind of got a good random mix. And I want to start today with I got to go to the Barclays Center in Brooklyn last night for the first time for Pelicans Nets.
What did you think of that arena?
I thought it was different. I thought it was very unique.
I gave him a warning.
I've been once. I don't like it.
I don't care for it.
Well, okay, so the outside of it I thought looked really cool. The outside looks cool. I posted a pic on my Instagram at Barstool Mitzi. It looks different the way it kind of like blends in. It doesn't look like a normal arena. Inside, I'll say this. I went with a couple of the Penn guys, and I had no idea that we were in a suite last night, which was freaking awesome.
Damn. Subtle flex.
Yeah. Well,
shout out Westy.
Yeah, shout out Westy. Yeah, they really hooked that thing up. But we had a great time with Playboy Marty and us. We had 4 of us, and it was a cool setup. So it was interesting, the COVID thing going into the game. You have to sign up to take a test, a rapid test, and they did a pretty good job with it. You had to wait in line for like 10 minutes.
So they did it there.
Yeah, so I actually took 2 tests yesterday. I took one before I went in the office because I'd been in the Carolinas, and then I took one heading into this game. But it was the whole process took 20 or 30 minutes. Are
they doing that at like baseball games? Because I know you have to have a test to go to a baseball game.
Not at Yankee Stadium. I don't know about City. At Yankee Stadium, you have to show a test that has negative and a time stamp on it. But I don't know about Mets.
I see.
Well, it wasn't too bad of a process. Like they had you they had a big testing station. You took a test and then they sent you outside. You waited for 20 minutes on like a green check mark for you to be clear. That was cool. It wasn't too bad. The sweet thing was awesome. That game. Talk about an ass tax. What an ass taxing. The Nets won 139-111, but they could have scored 160 last night if they wanted to, and that was without James Harden.
Yeah.
I mean, they just look like an all-star team out there. I mean, I thought I was watching an all-star game where, the Nets on offense against the Pelicans defense, there was just no hope to get any stops. And
were you able to just be like, all right, whatever, this sucks, but this is cool that I get to see these guys?
That's precisely how I handled it.
Yeah.
Look, I've been, the Pelicans are rebuilding. They're fun. They're young, but I know that they're on the way up. I don't take it personally. What I will say is this. I've never seen a three-point defense as bad as this Pelicans one. Every night, it just rains threes on the other side. The Atlanta Hawks, who Big T
set a record,
went 11 for 11 in one quarter 2 nights ago. Last night, the Nets were 11 of 18 at the half. I mean, it's just nonstop raining. But, as good as Zion is, if he scores 2 every time down and the other team scores 3, you're not going to win. And I know that sounds kind of basic.
Definitely won't.
But that's kind of a problem. But overall, really fun time, though. Kevin Durant's return. He didn't miss a shot in the field. I mean, who misses against the Pelicans? No one, apparently. But, man, the Nets looked unbelievable. And, Steve Nash and D'Antoni coaching the way the ball flows on offense. I mean, do you think they're the favorite in the East right now? I think so. I think so for sure.
Have to be.
I actually said yesterday the Hawks are going to get the 4 seed and beat them in the second round. I don't know that I believe that, but I said it.
Hawks have been winning a little bit, but overall,
anything could happen. But I feel like they have to be the
when you look at that lineup, when they get everybody healthy, you got Kyrie, Harden, Durant. You just add Aldridge and Blake Griffin. Just why not? And then they've got all kinds of good role players too. Harris, I don't know, man. They looked awfully tough, but overall, had a pretty good experience there. I was up, so I live with Playboy Marty, and he's going to pop in here for a second at some point during the show. He's a psycho Phoenix Suns fan. His brother works for the Suns. Mm-hmm. Man, I was hearing primal yells last night in the house coming from the. I was laying in bed during overtime of this Jazz Suns game. I mean, he was getting into it.
I remember I saw one video on Twitter a couple months ago of I think you posted it, of Playboy Marty, and he was going nuts at a game. But I think he was in his boxers. So you guys just shooting the shit, just hanging brain in the living room watching games? Or?
Yeah, we do. Like usually we do watching the NBA package. But last night I was laying in bed while during the Jazz made a big. So the Jazz and Suns are battling at the top of the Western Conference, which is hard to believe a little bit. But the Jazz came back from 5 down in the last minute, and he was just, more than upset. But then the Suns ended up pulling it out in overtime, and then I heard him yell, and I started laughing. He said, "We're the best effing team in the world."
I don't know if I can invite myself over and Road Dogg as well, but
I would love to.
Just chilling on a Friday night at the Mintz and Playboy Marty house, watching
house is a strong term. I would call it more of a. It feels more college dormy.
Yeah, we all know the deal. But we'll watch some college baseball, we'll do some shit. That sounds like a hell of a time. I didn't know y'all lived together.
Oh yeah, we lived together. We were living together in Baton Rouge, and he filmed the video of me going nuts with the Kiffin thing that got me here. And it was really funny when I got an offer from Barstool. I was like, "I'll take it if you take Marty with me, because we could live together at
Where do y'all live? You don't have to say
Hell's Kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kitch, baby.
Yeah, we got an Airbnb. We just keep rolling together over at Airbnb because it's been pretty cheap. We're still looking for full time. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, I think Owen, you're my neighbor actually.
Yeah, I live right near you. Snuck in a couple weeks before Tyler O'Day moved back to Hell's Kitchen, and he's since claimed himself the king of it. So
took the spotlight back.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I can't mess with the O'Day.
So we got to ask for permission if we want to do anything. But yeah,
I'm an O'Day.
It'll be a good time this summer.
I totally understand.
Mm-hmm.
But some other NBA, I thought that Jazz Suns game was a huge one last night. That's a big win for the Suns. They're only one game back now in the West.
Crazy.
And one question I have about the Suns, I'm curious what y'all think on this. They're 28-1 to win the NBA title right now, even though they've got the second best record in the West. There's 9 teams, I believe, that have a better chance to win. Nobody's really taking them seriously. Or what do you think? I like Chris Paul.
Yeah, I would say it's got to be a bet you're ready to hedge, though. I don't know if I'd be comfortable riding that till the end. But if you could get them in a semifinal or championship game.
Well, I feel like Devin Booker's perpetually underrated. I think it's the West Coast, East Coast bias thing, but it just seems like nobody ever gives him any credit. He's really good. I like Mikal Bridges as a role player. Ayton's good, not great. He's good on defense. I feel like he needs to do more on offense. I don't know that they're an NBA championship contender, but it feels like nobody's giving them any respect. And Monty Williams, I'm happy for him resuscitate his career in Phoenix. But that's kind of been a big story in the NBA, and it's weird in the West because the Lakers, obviously without LeBron and AD, they don't even care about their seed anymore, even though they had a decent record at least.
Yeah, I don't think they ever care about the regular season with that roster.
No.
It's just
you think they can just get those guys healthy and just walk through the playoffs?
They just have to get to the playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, and the Jazz are the one right now, but I still don't take them the most seriously either.
Yeah, they're behind the Lakers and Clippers on these odds. They're plus 850. The Clippers are plus 500. The Lakers are plus 340 to win the title, not to win the West. I don't win the West.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I can understand it, obviously, with the Lakers and Clippers star power, but it is interesting to see Utah and Phoenix near the top and just getting, so little respect, I would say. BT, I wanted to have you on, though. I was looking forward to talking to Braves with you today.
Love that.
Yeah, well, I know.
No longer winless.
I saw some videos of you with Smitty at the stadium over the weekend. How was y'all's time in Philly?
Well, it was fun. I should have lied. Sometime last week I decided, it's a 90-minute train ride. Braves are playing opening weekend. I'm just going to go. And you have to buy 2 tickets because of the COVID, seating pods, whatever. And so I offered them to several people to go. Obviously, nobody wants to really go on a trip. I was willing to go by myself. That was fine. And Smitty heard about it. He was like, "Hey, do you have an extra ticket?" And in that moment, I should have lied. I should have said no. But I told the truth. And I didn't know he was back living in Philly. But yeah, he is. And so he was like, oh, I'll just drive down and meet you. I was like, great. And he's like, we'll get a camera. Like, we'll make it a content thing. I was like, okay. So now this is a work trip. And it was fine. He, he is what he is. We lost. We got swept. But, it was great to be at a baseball game. It felt amazing to go to a baseball game.
You and Smitty have a very funny dynamic.
Yeah, well, do you guys have chemistry?
The ping pong thing, and now the Braves-Phillies
It's
thing.
It's a weird relationship. He's a decent person off camera, if you can believe it. And then you get the red light gets going, and he turns on the bits.
Well, I just thought it was funny, and then the Philly fan base thing is it's entertaining. Did y'all just go Sunday, or did y'all go to all three?
Yeah, no, just Sunday.
And I saw he was certainly chirping at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great time. I'm glad I could pay for him to have a great time.
There you go. Hospitable.
He did in full disclosure. He did offer me to pay for his ticket, but I didn't take it.
There you go.
Stand-up guy.
Yeah.
Braves got the first win yesterday.
Two.
Oh, yeah, it was doubleheader.
Yeah, won both of them.
There you go.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
No reason to feel bad about this team.
No, it's fine.
like the thing. I talked about this some. We talked about this some on the show yesterday. It's like we as fans, when you're waiting a whole offseason to see a team, we all overreact to the first few games. It's just what we do. We're fans short for fanatic.
I mean, can you imagine if
162 games?
If the Mets started 0-4, what Frank the Tank would have been doing?
I mean, he's going to do it regardless.
Right.
I mean, I feel like the Mets could win, and he's still going to.
Literally yesterday, they won, and he came in. He's like, "Oh, the bullpen's a disaster."
I saw Frank. He's actually headed to the game.
Yeah, he went to the game today. He said that leading off for the Mets was pain, followed by disappointment was hitting second. Agita was hitting third.
And disappointment fourth.
Yeah, all the way down. He gave a whole lineup.
Who was hitting third?
Agita. It's like a
term for like irritating.
Yeah.
Well,
Frank, man.
How do you feel? So that NL East this year is pretty dang loaded, man. I mean, I know the Nats aren't the World Series champions.
Yeah, the Nats aren't that good. If the Phillies play like they've been playing, I mean, it'll be a strong 3-team race with the Mets. I still think the Braves are going to win it. Everybody was so bullish on the Mets because they got Lindor and all that. But if Philly plays the way they've been playing, like, it'll be a really interesting 3-team race, I think.
I thought before the year when the over-unders were coming out, the Mets was 90.5 and the Phillies was 80.5, and I liked it. And Smitty actually said all this, and I just piggybacked it, but I like the Phillies over and the Mets under. I know the Mets have a lot of talent. I just feel like they're just habitual. I have to see it to believe it.
Right, and that's what I said. Like, they might win the East. They very well might, but like there's no tangible evidence to pick them to have a better season than the Braves this year. Until, we see it.
Yeah, no, I have the utmost faith in the Braves, too.
Yeah, I mean, they'll be fine.
Is Trista wearing a sweater just with the NBA logo?
Yeah, fan of this league. Just the league, Rob Lowe.
Yeah. It's a classic thing people wear.
You just want everybody to have fun.
Whatever you can do, gotta blend in. Have y'all watched any Masters so far today?
I'm watching it right as we speak.
Any observations so far? I'm looking at the leaderboard.
Yeah, no, nobody's really. I like you said, the leaders are 2 under. It's like, Matsuyama is now 3 under through 8, so he's the sole leader.
He's played decently at Augusta. I think he was like 50-1. Doesn't seem like a lot of the big names. I mean, John Rahm's 1 under through 4, and Patrick Reed now 1 under through 4.
Gross.
But hey, man, I'm on Patrick Reed at 33-1. Hey, look, money knows no rooting interest.
That guy just sucks so bad.
I mean, he's not
just as a person.
Yeah, he's not the best person, but he plays well at Augusta. He's won it before. He went to Augusta State. He's extremely familiar with the course.
Went to Augusta State until he got kicked out.
No, he got kicked out of Georgia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He got kicked out of University.
Got kicked out of Georgia, and then they won 2 national titles at Augusta State. That's right.
Yeah, and he ended up at Augusta State. He's from Baton Rouge, actually, originally,
really?
And nobody even claims him in Baton Rouge.
I would not either.
Now, but looking at this leaderboard so far, Matsuyama 3 under, and then you've got a host of people at 2 under. Kim, Connors. A lot of people were texting me, take Connors, that he's the best Canadian. But so far, good start for him. It's just jumbled up. It's still too early, and then a lot of the best players kind of getting going up. Brooks Koepka 1 over through 7. I was curious to see how he was going to play. Dealing with the injury, he decided to play last minute.
Yeah, I saw a few of his first few holes. He was parring like every hole. I guess he had a bogey somewhere in there, but he was saving par on every one of the first 5 or 6.
I'm glad to see him just out there playing, though. I mean, it's kind of been. I mean, whenever he's been healthy, he's more than dominated the majors, but then he's kind of had a lot of injuries recently. the last few years, really. But I'm looking forward to just watching this Masters all weekend. I think it's one of the best weekends in sports. The Final Four into the Masters, I mean, I don't really see how you can – the Jim Nance special.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can really beat it. And then you kind of get into the NFL draft in a few weeks. You all big draft guys? I
was last year in quarantine because we had nothing for so long, and then the draft was the only thing. So I was working on, like, bets, and I don't know. It was, like – the biggest thing ever.
I mean, the draft is a college football event, really. Like it's all the college players, so like that's why I enjoy it. You get to all the players that you know that people who don't watch college football don't know. You get to I've watched that guy. Like you can flex a little bit and like know things that other people don't know. But I enjoyed the draft.
One thing I wanted to get into today, and one of the topics we had was just kind of recapping the NFL quarterback offseason moves and looking at the draft part of it. There's just so much movement. And one move that all the Jets fans up here are going to laugh in my face, but I'm curious to see what happens with Sam Darnold going to Carolina. I really am. And I'm only saying this because I believe in Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator, so much, what he did with Joe Burrow at LSU, and I thought he did what he could with Bridgewater last year. I'm not saying that that's the biggest move of the offseason, but I think under the radar it's what people think.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold will be good on the Panthers.
I do too.
I don't think he would ever have been good on the Jets.
I don't either.
So we weren't going to play him. We were going to draft a quarterback. So the fact that we got anything in return, I think, is a net positive.
I thought it was interesting. I thought it was interesting that Carolina is obviously over Bridgewater after 1 year making that move.
Yeah,
I mean he got a three-year, $57
he's
million.
a little injury prone.
For the Jets, though, if you like Zach Wilson at all, that's an amazing trade for them. Like they won that trade for sure if you believe in Zach Wilson.
Is that who you wanted the 2-pick? That's what I like too.
Yeah. I've said that since like October.
I wanted him real bad at 4, but there's a 0% chance he lasts to 4.
No, I like the Wilson move, and I like the new coach, Robert Saleh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I loved him as a Niner defensive coordinator in intensity, and he's bringing some Shanahan assistants over to run the offense, which can't be a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think everything's going well so far.
Well, so looking at some of the other big moves though this offseason, I hadn't really broken down. Do y'all think Wentz to Indy can get his career going? I kind of do. I believe in Frank Reich.
I don't know.
I just feel like Philly, he just needed a fresh start really bad.
Nah, I don't know. I've been defending Wentz for like 3 years for no reason. I'm not even an Eagles fan. I just like believed in him, and I mean, he kind of just stinks.
Yeah, I don't think he's that good.
I think he's going to be better than Phillip Rivers was.
Maybe.
We'll see. I don't know. I kind of believe that year that Frank Reich was the OC and he was headed toward the MVP. Granted, Wentz hadn't been the same since.
But it's not like he wasn't working with anything. Jalen Hurts came in and like played great for a few games.
For a couple games, but I don't know. The thing with Wentz is that he had not just a torn ACL. He shredded like every ligament.
Yeah.
And the year he did really well. So much of his game was holding onto the ball and improvising, keeping plays going, and he had to get rid of that skill set. And he's just not been decisive enough with the ball. But I just believe in second chances, and I think Indy's got a good offensive line and good talent. And I don't know. I kind of buying the bounce back on him.
I like him. I'd love to see him do well.
I think that Indy team's going to be really, really good next year, and I think the Titans also lost a ton. What do you think about the Jameis Winston New Orleans era? What do y'all think?
Do you think that's who it's going to be?
I do, and I'm excited.
I thought. I mean, they gave Taysom Hill some money.
They did, but Hill could still play everywhere else too. I mean, if he makes $10 million a year, he can play all the.
But I mean, are they paying him that much to not be the starting quarterback?
But I think the way they look at it is they're giving Jameis 12 and Taysom 10, and so they're paying their starting quarterback 22, whoever it is.
That's reasonable. I guess,
I know that's weird to look at it like that, but that's like the NFL. That seems to be the going rate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I believe in Jameis. I'm super pumped about it.
Well, you don't really have a choice.
Well, no, that's true, but I really.
But also, it's
you have to, even if you don't.
If you believed in Jameis, like you're just like teasing him by also having another quarterback on the roster. Like.
Well, they tried out Hill. I don't think Hill can be the guy full time. I know he started the 4 games last year.
Yeah.
But I feel like
it's tough for Jameis to be. Like fully in like a killer QB1 mindset when you're just paying another guy
like,
as much
Jameis,
money right by his side.
We really believe in you. We're just gonna have this guy who can isn't even really a quarterback, but we're gonna play him there just in case.
Yeah.
But see, I feel like they gave him the shot last year and he didn't take it over. And then Jameis was on a $1.3 million deal last year. Now they gave him like $12 million for this year. And he loved Breeze, loves Peyton.
Yeah.
I feel like he's only 27. I feel like he's learned from some mistakes. I'm hoping the LASIK surgery will make it where he doesn't see the linebackers dropping in the pass line. Because it seemed like he would always missed those. But
30 less interceptions.
It was
this
such
year.
an electric moment. It was against the Falcons in Week 17 when he threw his 30th pick. I think
That was a
took it to the
30-30
house,
club,
too.
yeah.
It was pretty cool.
They let him keep the ball.
Yeah.
No, I do think it's going to be pretty. I don't know. I have higher hopes and I'm more optimistic. Maybe the most people.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Well, I just believe look at the Saints last few years. I mean, they're 8-1 when Breeze doesn't play, and I'm one of the biggest Drew Brees fans ever. But he's been extremely limited the last few years, and I think Jameis could be able to if he could just. And obviously, it's a huge if when he had 30 interceptions 2 years ago. If he can turn it over less, but I think him and Mike Thomas are going to make some magic.
That was sad watching Drew Brees throw that last throw this year when he aired it out and it just went like 30 yards.
I mean, he's 42 years old. Man.
I know, but I'm saying it was just tough.
No, it was hard. That playoff game, that ending this year. I mean, I'm like an eternal optimist, and it took me till Wednesday.
One of the more likable guys in the league forever.
Yeah, it took me till like Wednesday or Thursday to be positive that week. Also,
I remember that the after dinner mints were they sounded like me.
Yeah, you had the subdued.
Yeah.
No, it was a little rough. Well, looking at this draft, obviously, we know Lawrence is going to the Jags. You think Zach Wilson you think y'all got to go with him?
100%.
I think so, yeah. The only other thing would have been a Deshaun trade, which is long gone.
Yeah, I think Deshaun, it's going to be awfully tough.
It's going to be a couple years until he's
I wonder if in
the league or
this feels
in talks of being in the league.
Yeah, do you think he'll be out longer than Vic was? I mean, I know it's a totally different crime and everything.
I think people care more about humans than dogs a little bit.
I don't know.
I guess that's up to debate, but I would hope.
I don't think he'll miss a snap.
You don't think he'll miss a snap?
No. There's a team.
Take.
There's a team out there that's I actually named a team that was willing to give him a chance. You know who it was?
No.
Sean Payton would snap him up in a heartbeat.
Oh.
Sean Payton couldn't sign him fast enough.
Yeah, I don't see how they're going to be. I think it's more. I don't know about the moral part of it. It's the 4-year, $170 million deal part of it.
Yeah, see, the New Orleans, they don't even care about what he's accused of. They're like, man, if we could figure out that contract for Deshaun.
I'm saying the way you're framing it. I do care. I don't.
I wouldn't put that on
4
Mintz.
years, 170. That's a lot for a serial rapist.
My goodness.
I don't know. It's just it's a real sticky, weird situation. But things have kind of gone downhill in Houston in a super fast way. So Atlanta, you're a big Falcons fan. Atlanta at 4. What do you do here?
Apparently they're talking to trade out because they wanted. I think they liked Wilson a lot, but he's not going to last. And now with the 49ers at 3,
they're going QB.
They're either going to get. I've heard them talking about Mac Jones.
I know
now.
people are saying that.
Mm-hmm.
If more power to them. I wouldn't hate taking Justin Fields at 4, but like if you can trade back,
that'd be funny. Justin Fields back in Georgia after the UGA stuff.
What happened to the Trey Lance buzz? He was like,
well, now he's kind of going back up. Like now people like him again.
Really?
Yeah. Ebo, our resident FCS expert who knows all about FCS football, says he sucks.
Yeah, he says he's trash.
He's the biggest anti-Trey Lance guy I've ever met.
But there was a point during
Didn't he only play one game last year or something?
Well, yeah, but he played a full season before.
There was a point during the CFB season where there was think pieces that he would be the number 1 pick. Yeah. That he was better than Lawrence, and then he just fizzled out, and then I guess you say he's rising back up again.
Yeah, like people like him a lot now. I think he's gonna be a top 10 pick for sure. Probably if somebody trades up to 4, they're gonna take Fields or him.
How do y'all feel about Fields?
I don't dislike Fields. I certainly don't like him nearly as much as
Lawrence
Wilson. But I mean, if they drafted him there, I'd be okay with it, especially with at least 1 year to learn under Matt Ryan. But hearing that they want to trade back, I like. If you can get another first-round pick and then a couple additional ones to that to move back however many spots, maybe like Kyle Pitts is still there, maybe somebody like that, then I think that would be a good trade.
It was March Madness time, and we're making up for last year's tourney getting canceled by going bigger and harder this year. Luckily, our favorite sports drink, Body Armor, just came out with a new sports drink plus caffeine called Edge. It's got 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes to keep you going through the last buzzer or finish line. Plus, it's got antioxidants, B vitamins, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge. All right, we kind of hit the quarterbacks a little bit. The receivers in the draft, there's been a lot of arguments over this. Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, and just some of these guys. Who you think is going to go the highest of them?
Chase will go first for sure.
Chase had some weird stuff behind the scenes at LSU. I don't think it was too bad, but do you think the opting out, you don't think that impacts anything?
I think it helped him. I mean, he has the only tape people have on him is him just destroying people.
He's a physical, just freak.
Yeah, I mean, he was on one of the two greatest offenses in college football history, and then there's no tape of him like being bad.
Yeah, and the national championship, he destroyed the Atlanta first-round pick, A.J. Terrell.
He sure did. I didn't know much about A.J. Terrell because we did the live Zoom draft show last year. So I was on with Steven and Brandon and all them, and we're like, who are we going to get? And they were like, A.J. Terrell. I was like, I knew the name, but I didn't know much about him. And then all the clips on Twitter were just Jamar Chase making him look like a fool in the national championship game. He actually didn't play horrible as a rookie. But
what's interesting on the Jamar Chase thing is, the Bengals are sitting at 5. Obviously, you got Joe Burrow and Chase have an unbelievable chemistry, but I mean that Bengals offensive line. I felt like I might have been out there playing a line last year, especially a right tackle when Bobby Hart was playing.
They have to draft.
Yeah,
so you think they have to take Sewell, the Oregon tackle?
Well, yeah, they don't have a choice. If he's there, I mean, now
there's no point of taking a receiver. He won't have time to hit any of them.
I saw a
he
meme.
was just getting clobbered.
It was like Joe Burrow throwing to anybody with Penei Sewell in front of him, and he was like, it was just a stick figure throwing the pass with the guy blocking. And then it was like Joe Burrow throwing to Jamar Chase with their offensive line, and Jamar Chase was wide open, and he was just on the ground with 5 dudes on top of him.
Just dead.
Yeah, you have to draft an offensive lineman.
I think the other thing too is, I think Jamar Chase is unbelievably talented, but it's a deep receiver class in this draft, and they've already got a few young guys. Sewell's an elite top offensive lineman. I don't hate that logic. Chase, I could see at 6 to Miami. Being very in play. What do you think Devontae Smith and because there's been a lot of argument, especially with Stephen Shea. Is he a top 10 pick or first round pick? Where do y'all see him?
Shea basically put his life on the line that he won't be a top 10 pick,
which makes me really want him to be a top 10 pick.
Exactly. Yes.
I don't see a world in which he escapes the top 15. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Stephen Shea's take, if he gets taken 11, Stephen Shea can still sing and dance.
Right.
But,
I'm looking forward to seeing if we get, a bet in the sports book on Stephen Shea.
We will, yeah.
The over-under on him. Now, I'm curious to see where he goes, though.
That was the most impressive, title game ever.
Oh, and the LSU game was just...
Yeah.
I will say, I think Waddle will go before him, and I think Waddle's better than him, too. Waddle and him had the same numbers when Waddle got hurt. They were almost identical.
That's the craziest stretcher. And I know Clemson had a run like this when they had Martavis Bryant, Sammy Watkins, and Hopkins on that team. But you look at Bama with Judy, Ruggs, and these two guys in the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, it's...
And the Waddle and Smith were the 3 and 4 guys, and they're way better than them.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah,
that's absurd that those were the 4 receivers on Alabama at one point.
Because Devontae Smith caught the...
With Najee Harris, a running back.
Yeah.
Because Devontae Smith caught the pass to beat Georgia in the national championship game as a freshman, and nobody knew who he was. He was their 6th receiver.
Yeah, no, I remember. Yeah, because it was that national championship game. They had a 17-yard loss on the first down. Yeah, it was second and 27 from the 42, and he caught a 42-yard touchdown to win the national championship.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Just wild. Certainly nuts. As a Falcons fan, are you happy about the Arthur Smith? What are your thoughts on the Arthur Smith hire?
I like Arthur Smith. He was actually on Bussin' with the Boys yesterday, and I listened to it. I like him a lot after listening to that.
He's gotten Titans ties.
Yeah, so he just listening to him talk, I like him a lot. I mean, anybody would have been better than Dan Quinn. I can't believe Dan Quinn came back for last season. I mean, he was in over his head. After the Super Bowl, he was just,
When you look at the Arthur Smith Titans offense, I mean, you run it through Henry, lots of play action. Do you think Atlanta needs to try to get a bell cow running back?
I mean, that's what Tennessee did when they hired Jeremy Pruitt. They're like, we're going to recreate Alabama, and you saw how poorly that went. You don't try to recreate an offense that was built around Derrick Henry when you don't have Derrick Henry.
Do you try to go get Najee Harris like late first round? Is Derrick Henry light? I mean, I know they're a little. I mean, they're both big. They're different, but
they can't draft a running back in the first round. Even if they traded back, like that, you just can't. If he lasted to the second and they were like at the 4th pick in the second round and he was there, maybe.
I feel like he's getting. I mean, he's one of the best college backs I've ever. I mean, he's unbelievable. The way he can catch the ball in the backfield, his size and speed. I mean, I don't know. I feel like people are almost sleeping on him in a way.
Who's your favorite running back in college history?
Man, AP was so good. LaDainian Tomlinson, TCU was.
I'm a big Noshawn Moreno guy.
Really?
Marino was fun. I wouldn't say best ever. Him. Yeah, and he was on the Stafford team too.
Yeah, I just loved him.
Man.
You know, talking about
Derrick Henry was just ungodly.
So I was when you were talking about Bama having all those receivers, they had Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and T.J. Yeldon all at the same time.
Yeah.
Kamara.
There's an article on the internet yesterday about that. Kamara got in there like first day, and he looked saw the depth chart and everybody there. He's like, man, there's only 10 games. Look at all these guys. He's like, what the hell am I doing here?
Yeah. And Saban hated him too. He said Saban like had devised a punishment just for him. That like when he fucked up in practice, like he had to do this thing that nobody else did.
Really?
Well, I felt like Butch Jones hated him at Tennessee.
Butch Jones hated him way more.
With how little he used him. Yeah. I remember the 10 at A&M at CBS game.
Yeah, when he had like 400 all-purpose yards. I actually, this is a little bit off topic, but my hottest take is that Kamara absolutely should have played more, but it was not indefensible to have Jalen Hurd over him. Jalen Hurd was going to set the school record for rushing yards in 3 years. Like he was a very good player.
I mean, I just think a Kamara skill set, you got to, even if
he should have played more,
play him
like
in the slot,
for sure.
Get him on the field. You just got to get a dude like that on the field.
Absolutely.
That was kind of more my thoughts.
No, yeah, for sure. But
have you seen that video where Joe Burrow talks about getting offered like the QB3 at Alabama?
No.
And he was just like, "Oh no, they must not know who I am yet." And then
love that.
9 months later, he beat them on LSU.
It was wild that he didn't get a shot at Ohio State. I mean, looking back, I mean Haskins was really doing really well, but man, I mean the Burrow LSU era certainly.
It's crazy how top heavy college football is. Like how many stars are on one team at once.
Yeah, it is kind of wild how the top teams that's kind of what makes college basketball in the tournament so much fun. Usually is the parity. Even if Gonzaga and Baylor were easily the best 2 teams this year. Baseball has always been America's pastime, but a close second is horse racing, and we've got the best way to get involved and get in on the action. Stable Duel brings a new way to play the races with lower risk and bigger payouts. It's similar to fantasy football. You select your stable or team of 10 horses and watch your points rack up. There are daily games with big cash prizes. It's easy to use, even if you're new to horse racing. So go download the Stable Duel app now and start playing right out the gate. Low buy-ins, big payouts. Play against your buddy for true racing domination. Either of y'all into horse racing at all?
I was for a period of time. I've been to a couple tracks.
Have you?
Yep.
I watched the major races, but I've never gotten into it. My dad loved it.
I had no idea what was going on. I was just kind of like, it was fun though.
Have you gone to Belmont since living in New York?
No, the only one in New York I've been to was Aqueduct, which is in like the bottom of, I think it's technically Queens. It's like close to Brooklyn though. The worst place you could ever go. Just the worst. I hope we don't have like a deal with them or something.
I don't think so.
It's not a fun place to spend a weekday afternoon.
Yeah, you guys should come to Belmont.
I would love to.
The Belmont Stakes is the one day. The other 364 days, it's BYOB. You could just roll in coolers. So
it's a big time.
You could sit and just gamble on horses all day.
I want to go to Saratoga.
Yeah, that's also beautiful. Much nicer than Belmont.
I kind of touched on that yesterday on the show. But Saratoga in August has always been like a New York kind of tradition going back 100 years.
Some Gatsby shit.
Yeah, it's something I'd kind of like to check out. But this weekend, more focused on the Masters. Looking forward to just watching all weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We're on the golf front, I'll admit it. I watch like the Sundays of big tournaments, and then I watch the majors. But I love the Masters, though. I said
the same thing yesterday to Ebo. I watch Sundays of tournaments, and then I watch every day the majors. That's about it.
Are you into it at all? Golf?
Not any more than y'all. I mean, like I'm aware of what's going on, but
Well, right now, Matsuyama still 3 under through 9 with the lead. 2 under a bunch of people. Well, only 3 people. Kim, Wiesberger, and I have no idea how to say this guy's name.
Is it the South African guy?
I don't know.
I ended up like emptying a clip on McElroy to miss, so really need him to shit the bed.
Patrick Reed 1 under through 5 right now. Like to see that. Koepka even par through 9. Nobody really shooting that great of scores today. I know that it's supposed to be playing pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
But Schauffele even through 6 holes. I took him top 5 at 5-1. Fairly big. So I'm kind of hoping to see him do well. But looking forward to watching a good bit of that. I want to go ahead and take a look. What a heater on the picks yesterday. I went 6-1.
For what are you, 15-2 in the last 2 days?
15-2 the last 2 days. The NBA heater though. I'm 5 baseball's 10-2 and NBA 5-0. It's a funny thing, but
impressive.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm getting help with the MLB still, and it's like a funny thing.
What's Marty saying in that group chat?
The group chat's pretty funny because I feel like in a way what's going on. You know how you see this in college sports where you'll see like a team winning and you're like, oh, that'll never actually count or hold up.
Yeah.
But during the season, that's what this feels like. This heater I'm on, because. It just I don't know.
Yeah, you're like a DePaul on a 6-game win streak. Like,
like I'm enjoying it, but it's like I admit it.
Yeah.
They can never take that away from you though.
But
15-2.
Well, it's just funny that the listeners are.
That'll be in the annals of history forever.
Yeah. Well, I hope it just keeps it going, man. But I got a couple of picks for tonight in the NBA. Last night, I'm going against the Suns because last night they had that overtime win, and now they're at the Clippers. I think it's a back-to-back
spot. You think they'll just be dogged?
Yeah, I think so.
I wrote down Suns money line.
Did you?
Plus 180.
So we're on the opposite sides.
It's a flight from Phoenix to LA.
Yeah, I just think it was like the OT emotional game.
Sure, and I mean that's why they're a 6-point underdog, but. I don't know. I think they can beat the Clippers for sure. We're
on the other side on that one. I got the Heat by 8 over the Lakers too.
Dude, do they offer like live season win totals?
I don't know.
It's just
why? What's your angle?
The Lakers. The Lakers are getting like 10 points every night. It's crazy.
Yeah, they've been playing. I saw they've won a couple lately, but I think the Heat. This is a rematch of the finals. I think the Heat are going to try to spank them here tonight.
You think? Yeah.
Yeah, and so I kind of like the Heat here. I was looking. So I only had those 2 as NBA picks. I was looking at the Jazz by 6 at home over Portland, but because of the Jazz OT on the back-to-back, I might stay away. But man, the Jazz are 22-2. Aren't they like 22-2 at home or something?
Mm-hmm.
Something
absurd.
Insane. I mean, I just like bet on them at home and watch them cover all the time. Got a bunch of Major League Baseball picks today. Going to try to keep that rolling. Got the Brewers money line minus 150 against the Cardinals. Over 10 in the Angels, Jays, Mets by 1.5. Hopefully Frank will be positive and pull them to victory today. I know he's out there. Minnesota Twins by 1.5 runs, and then a couple of first 5 bets. Took the under on St. Louis and the under on Seattle, as well as the Twins. So we've got a bunch of plays. Hopefully keep this heater rolling. Did you have any NBA here tonight?
I need a minute.
No,
Big T, you got anything?
See, you and I took the opposite of like every single MLB game. I had Marlins plus 1.5.
Okay.
Cardinals.
Just so you know, he's 10-2 in his last 12.
I know.
MLB.
Well, maybe he's due. Cardinals money line and under 9 in the Cubs Pirates game because the Pirates just can't score.
They just can't do it.
I mean, they're PFT. We were watching the Braves Nats game yesterday, and the Pirates came on, and PFT devised his new gambling system to defeat Vegas, which is just bet against the Pirates every single day the entire season.
That's his strategy.
That's his system, and it's probably a pretty good one.
They are horrible, and they're not really trying, are they? They were down 11-0 in like the 4th inning yesterday.
Do you guys have any runs that you remember in gambling, like a model like that? Just fade the Pirates. Like I remember,
I've had a few.
I think it was my sophomore year of college. Me and my friends were taking the Cincinnati Reds first inning run, and it went on like a 26-4 run.
Though there are a few of them that come to my mind. This year, the Pelicans over thing was like that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Pelicans had a stretch where it was like 23 out of 25 games went over. And, I mean, when you watch games like last night, you certainly see how.
Yeah.
But that was one. And then I had a stretch where I was going on the ESPN. I was the gambling picks guy on ESPN Baton Rouge for a few years, and that kind of helped lead me here in a way. But it was the Bills, not this year because Josh Allen broke out, but the Bills unders the year before were 12-4. And just every game was 16-13. And so I just bet the Bills under every week, and it became like this ongoing joke in Baton Rouge.
It's like an unreal feeling, just having one of those that you could just chalk in, you know what I mean?
This Premier League season, Man City to win and both teams to score no. It's been very profitable.
A lot of shutouts.
A lot of clean sheets.
The other one, too, was it's funny we mentioned Jameis Winston. 2 years ago, the Bucks overs, because they would always get down 14-0 with his turnovers, and then he would just throw every down. The Bucks overs were 12-4 that year, and I just bet those every week, too.
And then the last one I could remember was, but this one was different because you had to find a second leg. But if you teased the Cincinnati Bengals total, if you got the under with a 7-point cushion, it was hitting for like 2.5 seasons in a row.
Dang. Wow. That's
from like 2016 to 18.
Now, you can find those. When you find those trends, though, you can. You know,
so it was just every week trying to find a second leg.
The biggest thing is catching it early. I want to thank our good friend Jake Marsh stopping by here. Appreciate Jake stepping in here, and hadn't got to talk to you yet since the NCAA tournament's been over, and so I wanted to have you in here and kind of talk a little recap, and appreciate your time. How are you?
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys for having me. My first time actually in this room since it's been redone.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think?
What do you think?
It's crazy. Wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
No, the tournament is a tough ending from a neutral standpoint because it was a blowout. But we got one of the greatest shots ever in the Final Four, so it's hard to complain.
I thought that Gonzaga UCLA, not just like so often in sports when you look at, people always talk about like the great games and stuff. People overrate games that have a great ending. That game was unbelievable from the tip.
Right.
The biggest lead was 7
the whole
way.
Yeah.
It was 45,
So
44
awesome.
and a half. I thought, you're obviously just diehard college basketball fan. Was that one of the, that's got to be one of the best NCAA tournament games ever.
We talked about it on Bench Mob. Like, you have Leitner's shot, you have Chris Jenkins win the championship, and then you could argue that shot is right behind those two.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what else would come to mind. Like, there's a bunch of first and second round upset buzzer beaters, like Northern Iowa half court in 2016.
Mario Chalmers, 2008.
Yeah, but that was to tie.
Yeah, but
talking about
but to tie, no, you're right.
In turn, won them the national championship.
Yeah,
and Memphis' free throw shooting. But
yeah,
that's true.
Also, that wasn't a buzzer beater. There was, I think,
there was like 1.1 left or something.
But it was still
of
sent
course
the game to overtime.
No, for sure. But yeah, it was sick.
No, I thought that was just that game, the whole thing, too. That was unbelievable. Were you surprised that Baylor bullied them so bad in the title game?
I was. I can't believe it was a blowout. From the beginning, it was like 9-0, and it was just boring.
It just seemed like Baylor on defense was so ferocious and physical.
Yeah.
Gonzaga couldn't take care of the basketball.
I forget the exact numbers, but I know Baylor had one less offensive rebound than Gonzaga did defensive rebounds.
Wow.
That's crazy.
It shows they wanted it more on the glass.
It just seemed like they were so much tougher. Just watching it. Just
100%.
watching, they were just so much more physical, and they got in their head.
They were in different tiers. It was crazy. I think if they didn't have the COVID pause, they could have gone undefeated and been in the conversation for the best team ever.
Who did they lose to?
They
lost at Kansas on Kansas' senior night, and then they lost to Oklahoma State in the Big 12 tournament.
Kind of the COVID thing kind of threw people off the sniff of how great Baylor was too.
Right.
Not that everybody knew they were a 1 seed and really good, but until that last COVID pause, they were averaging beating people by like 24 in the Big 12.
I think
we're talking about a tough league.
It was the Big Ten inflation that people forgot about them a little bit.
Right.
Like everyone was just like Illinois, Iowa.
I think they could have been the number one overall if they were undefeated.
Yeah.
They probably should have been in the Big 12.
Yeah,
versus
way tougher league.
WCC. Yeah.
The guard, the Baylor 3-guard line, the guards were
crazy.
just.
And I was looking at the way too early top 25s. They're losing a lot, and they're still like up there for next year. I don't know exactly who they have coming in for recruits, but
No, those 3 senior guards started together the whole last 3 years too.
right. Yeah, they could have won it all last year too before the tournament got canceled.
Seems like Arkansas, and I know y'all follow with PMT. Y'all are big Musselman fans. Boy, he's crushing the.
It's unreal.
He's
Chris
getting all the top transfers are going there
From Miami, yeah. I mean, they're going to be the real deal. We also talked about how like the future of the SEC is in great hands. The young head coaches. I know you're a Will Wade guy. You helped us get him on. between him, Oates, Musselman, Mike White's still young. Like the SEC
it's
is known
legit.
for football, but the basketball is in great hands.
You're
Tennessee stinks.
No, I'm not saying a word about Shut up, Jake. You don't believe that Mike White is in the same conversation
No,
as those other
I just
guys.
said he was young,
Okay.
but he's proven
I think
himself.
he's solid,
He gets to
though. Like, the
tournament
thing
every
with
year.
Florida, I know that Florida disappointed a little bit this year, but, I mean, they had the huge injury, the COVID thing. Their whole team would have – I mean, he was like preseason SEC player of
He was
the year.
best player in the conference, and the fact that they still made the tournament safely is impressive.
Yeah.
And won a game.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of my thoughts.
Yeah, I think they were a Final Four caliber team if he was playing.
You think Nate Oates is? I mean, he's crushing recruiting too. I saw they have a number 3 recruiting class.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we got to get to some games next year in the SEC.
Well, one thing I saw next year that looks exciting is the Final Fours in New Orleans.
I did see that.
Yeah, so
you're already planning your trip.
Oh yeah, anything New Orleans related. We gonna fire that. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would be crazy. It would be crazy if we get a team like, what if it's like LSU,
That's
University of New
tough.
Orleans,
I think LSU,
Louisiana Monroe.
Yeah, I think that'll never happen.
Who am I missing? Tulane, the Final Four.
Yeah, that's
your Final Four next year.
Yeah, that's never gonna ever happen. I think LSU's gonna be tough. They're losing a lot too.
Yeah.
Just Watford just declared the draft, and Cam Thomas.
Maybe Shaq's son will play a factor.
There you go.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
There you go. You never know. So this tournament overall, look, a lot of people hated on it. I still enjoyed it.
Because people love to hate on it.
Exactly. I still enjoyed it. I mean, it's weird. One observation I had was I like the standalone Sweet 16 games because I want to watch all 8 of them. Mm-hmm. But, sometimes I think that makes, when you watch them all standalone, you realize some of them maybe aren't as close. When they used to have them 2 at a time, the more entertaining one would be on. So it kind of skewed how people look at it.
Yeah.
I didn't like the Monday, Tuesday Elite 8.
9:57 on Monday and Tuesday. You can't have that again.
No.
And the ratings, I think, went down for the Elite 8, so I think they'll make some
Why do they do the starts so late?
So it's not
I guess they
overlapping.
wanted every game in its own time slot, but it was like, because they were scheduled at 10, they started at 10:30.
Yeah.
And
the national championship game was at 9:20.
It's crazy. The first round, I understand starting late because there's so many games. You got to stagger them. But an Elite 8 game, like, people are like half awake when it's Baylor, Arkansas, a huge game, and it's just like, doesn't feel like an Elite 8 game because you're like trying to stay awake on a Monday night.
I'm curious, looking back, did you have any idea the Pac-12 thing was coming?
No idea.
I mean, I didn't either.
Nobody did.
No, nobody did. I mean, USC and Oregon.
I actually thought the one I thought Oregon was going to beat Iowa. That was the one. I wasn't shocked by that, but I'm not going to say I knew.
USC and Oregon were good teams all year long, but
the
Oregon
fading
State,
Iowa
UCLA.
thing was such a unpopular opinion. Like, everyone was eager to be like, oh, Iowa's going to fall early.
Right. Crazy.
I mean, I thought Kansas was weak too, so I wasn't surprised.
Kansas, I'll tell you what, people love to hate on the Blue Bloods this season. Kansas had a good year.
Yeah.
Like, they were a 3 seed. They're in the Big 12. They're like the number 2
Yeah,
seed
people
in
were
the Big
talking
12.
about them like they were Kentucky or Duke.
Yeah,
and there was nothing.
Yeah, they were getting lumped in with the teams that missed the tournament.
They were fine this year. And they just got a Drake transfer, Joe Yusufu. He had a sick dunk in the tournament, so they're going to be fine.
Self got a lifetime contract. I saw too.
I saw that too. But it's going to be exciting next season. I like the fact that we're getting all this movement in the transfer portal means
What do you think about the transfer portal stuff?
Great.
I mean, I do too. It's like free agency, but man, I don't hate it.
No, not at all. It's great for if coaches can leave jobs and go year to year, why should the players have to sit and wait?
The only thing that's tough is for the coaches, you start recruiting these kids when they're freshmen in high school or whatever, and then you have to re-recruit them every year for them to stay. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
It's the price you pay if you want to rock and roll.
Right. I'm just excited in November to have games that will not get canceled.
Yeah.
What the Roy Williams is surprised or no? I mean, it's been a long career. I wasn't.
I
Totally
guess it was a
shocked.
blind side in the moment, but he said himself, he's not the man for anymore.
I mean, he's 70 years old. He's coached. Look, he's been a head coach for 33, 34 years.
Yeah, I mean, he was assistant at UNC, then went to Kansas, and then came back as the head coach. Crazy.
Snuck it in on April Fools too.
That was the thing.
People thought it was people.
I did. I think I tweeted it out saying is this a?
Yeah, people tweeted at me bro, it's a joke. Relax. You fell for it. It's all of the reporters are tweeting about it. Yeah.
Well, if Rothstein tweets it, I believe it.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I know I've followed him for a while, but through y'all and being part of Barstool, I followed more. Man, I got a lot of respect for him.
I mean,
Yeah.
year round.
The man goes hard.
you, Rico, and Marty did a great job all tournament, as did Rothstein. He's incredible.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like
He tweeted every hour until the championship.
I love the 29 hours.
But yeah, I assume, unless he's actually waking up on the dot every hour.
He just sets that. Okay.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I believe that he's awake because he also just tweets like random thoughts in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and his morning quotes at 6 a.m. always get ready
That we
for the
sleep
day.
in May too.
Oh, of course. I mean, that's why he says May and not April, because even though the tournament's over, these next few weeks there's going to be a lot going on.
mayhem, yeah.
Coaching.
And the transfers, scheduling.
There any other coaching moves to catch your eye or any transfers? Anything standing out?
Well, now that Arizona's open.
Yeah. What did you? I mean, no. I'm not shocked. There.
No. North Carolina, Indiana are filled. I think everything else is actually pretty filled at this point. But the Arizona thing, it's a domino effect because if it's a mid-major coach or someone, that job will open.
Yeah.
I saw people saying Josh Pastner
Yeah.
because he was
As
on.
this guy from Atlanta. How do you feel about that?
I don't care. I'm shocked that he did as good of a job this year because when he first got to Tech, he was like they were bad, and then this year they lost to Georgia State and Mercer.
The first two games. The first game was like a 4 overtime game.
Yeah,
right?
I had the under in that game. It was still under at the end of overtime, and then they went to quadruple overtime.
That's tough.
But yeah, because he was on Arizona's national championship team under Lute Olson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was a walk-on. He actually said he hand wrote a letter to every Division 1, 2, 3 and NAIA school in the country saying, like, I know I'm not good, but I want to be a coach. Like, can I be a walk-on? And he said one NAIA school and Lute Olson wrote him back and said,
Respect.
like, you can. And he was a walk-on, and so now he might be the head coach at Arizona.
That's sick.
That's a hell of a story. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if they hired a guy from the ACC, then like
that opens up.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. The domino effect. But they could also do like an assistant, and it wouldn't.
Right.
I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Were you surprised the Carolina promote from the end?
No.
That makes sense.
I mean, we just saw it with Indiana. They did the same thing. A guy from the family. I feel like for recruiting, it's so much easier to pitch. And the fact that Hubert Davis was already in the coaching staff, he was already recruiting all these guys, so all the players know him. Another good story, Roy Williams is talking about how Roy and Dean Smith went to Hubert's house to try to recruit him, and Dean Smith told Hubert, "You're not playing here." And then they got in the car, and Roy's like, "Give him a chance. He deserves it." And then he changed his mind and gave him an offer.
Wow, and now he ends up the head coach.
Now he's the head coach after playing there.
Wow.
Damn.
Being an assistant. I remember him, obviously you guys I'm sure do, as the college game day panel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what was it, 10 years ago?
I think it was up
like
until
8, I
2012.
think.
Yeah.
Which is crazy
when it was-
because it feels like not that long ago that he was
When it was
on
Digger
College Game.
Phelps, Hubert, Jay Billis, and Reese. That
Reese
was
Davis,
like
yeah.
the OG4 that I remember from game day.
That was like your youth because you're
Yeah.
20, what, 24, 25?
25 now, yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Good run for the Orange again.
Yeah, it was a nice Sweet 16 run. Buddy's coming back already. He announced it. I think they had like 2 guys leave via the transfer portal, 2 or 3, but everyone else is coming back. Dolajaj, the big Slovakian, he's going to play pro. And this will be a fun storyline. Jimmy Boeheim, brother, played at Cornell, entered the transfer portal. There's some heavy rumors he's coming to play for his dad and with his brother.
Wow.
That would be wild.
Was he good at Cornell?
He was solid, yeah, but he also didn't get to play this year, so like he's itching to play. They canceled their season.
Yeah, the obvious didn't
I
play.
didn't think
Yeah.
about it. Wow.
Yeah, so that would be cool. I know nothing. I'm just hearing the rumors.
What's is it like? What kind of level? Like Buddy Boeheim's got to be at like a godlike level at Syracuse.
Oh, I'm sure he is. He got there right when I left, so I didn't overlap with him. But, I mean, this is what they do. They sneak in the tournament and prove people
What is
wrong.
it about the style? Like, 'cause there are a few other schools that are like that too. It's like their style just works in March, and obviously Syracuse is known for the 2-3 matchup zone.
Yeah.
And it feels like the shots, it's hard. The threes are harder to make in the tournament, maybe
Right.
whether it be pressure or what.
Right.
But it's just year after year. You just
It's I think it's because these ACC coaches like Kay and well used to be Roy Williams, but Tony Bennett, they know the zone. They're prepared to face it every year.
they recruit for it too.
Bob Huggins had 36 hours to prep for it. So you can't really simulate it that much in practice because it's a 2-day layover. Their first game, San Diego State, the Mountain West, obviously they went like 29-4. So they were a great team, but
they couldn't shoot. They couldn't shoot. I mean, they were like San Diego State's rugged, athletic, plays good D, not a good shooting.
And
I mean, that game, I watched that game, and that was over like before it even
against
started.
Houston in the Sweet
I wanted
16.
to see San Diego. Like, it was tough. I wish they didn't get matched up against each other because San Diego State was also like 28-2 the year before, and had their run cut off. So it was like an unreal run, but. Yeah, the zone was too much.
Even against Houston in the Sweet 16, Syracuse got smacked, but the zone
it wasn't the defense.
They gave up 62 points.
No.
Houston's defense deserves the credit too. So, yeah, it was a great run. I think I want them. In the year before I got there, 2013, they started 25-0 and were number 1 in the country. I want them to get back to that.
Yeah,
where like they're consistently good instead of these tournament runs are great. But if you're a 1 or a 2 seed,
but you're one to like be at the top of the ACC,
right?
Yeah,
they're like middle of the pack, and then they sneak in and go on these runs, which is great. But like it's fun being good the whole season.
Yeah. It seems like their home road splits were big because they're so tough at home in the Carrier Dome.
Yeah, I mean this year obviously with no fans doesn't mean as much, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely got to get back next season.
Yeah, either way, great tournament though. It seemed like congrats on a still bench mob.
Oh, thank you.
Huge first year, man.
Yeah, it was
seems like everything.
We've been very fortunate to get a great guest list, and next year we'll definitely hit the road for some games, do some video stuff. The college basketball offseason always feels really long. Because think about it.
I mean, it kind of is because it's weird too because. Like, and I know y'all are down in Maui, and all the preseason tournaments are awesome, and it's cool how college basketball, everybody's not afraid to play each other. It helps your schedule. It helps your RPI. You don't get penalized for the losses. But it almost feels like that's preseason because it's during college football in a way.
Yeah, I feel like the general sports fan doesn't start paying attention until after the Super Bowl. And you only get like 6 weeks. But obviously, like guys like us, we're locked in from Thanksgiving.
It was kind of eye-opening for me being up here as a Southerner. Like right when it started, I was like, "Holy crap, these guys love college basketball up here."
Yeah, I mean,
I was just like, "Whoa!"
And that's why I think for the SEC being good is important too, because obviously, and you too, Connor, talking about just SEC football year round. If all these SEC schools are nationally relevant from Thanksgiving on, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. I think SEC basketball is definitely improved. It's weird seeing. Do you think Calipari and Kentucky was it just a fluke bad year, or you think they're all the way down?
I think a lot of teams get a pass this year.
Yeah, the COVID thing, the teams,
especially they had all freshmen.
Exactly, and the COVID weird thing with freshmen. I mean, imagine being 18 and dealing with this COVID. Like that's not what you signed up to go to college for.
Like we said with Baylor, they had 0 freshmen in their rotation, maybe 1. It makes a big deal, especially when you can't get in the groove.
No, and it had to be weird, too, for those kids. I mean, imagine being 18 and dealing with all those dynamics.
Exactly. So I think it'll be a more level playing field for all these teams next year. We'll see.
Awesome. Do you think UCLA, just the last question I got is, I've always thought Mick Cronin was a really good coach and never really got his due. He was very consistent.
He just got an extension like 30 minutes ago.
I mean, still, though, didn't see that run coming.
No, not at all. And they get everybody back next year. In the way too early rankings, they're like top 10.
And he was
everybody's
like the
returning
7th or 8th coach they tried to hire.
Right.
they offered
couldn't
a
hire
lifetime
anyone.
contract to Calipari. Then Rick Barnes was gonna go there, and they couldn't pay his buyout. Then they went after. There were a couple others I can't remember right now, but he was like the 5th or 6th guy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So good for him.
Yeah.
Cheers. Kentucky could have used Juzang.
I know that's tough for Kentucky people.
I mean, man, what a tournament he had!
Yeah.
And like his field goal shooting. I mean, he's 12 of 18, and
he could not miss those jump shots. It was crazy. But like, if they get everyone back, look out.
It was cool. It was cool to see UCLA, getting
100%.
back. It was also odd to see, like, you look at UCLA's tradition, and Gonzaga used to be the underdog, and Gonzaga being the favorite.
Yeah, it was very ironic that UCLA, the blue blood, is the feel-good underdog story, and then Gonzaga, a school people don't even know about if it weren't for their basketball team, the favorite, undefeated.
It's gonna be tough. This is gonna be a tough one for them to swallow. I'm curious. I mean, I know that they've got such a stable, great program, and you got to have faith in few and the way they're everything.
Yeah,
but this one feels like it could haunt them for a long. Kind of like in the NFL, the team that loses the Super Bowl gets haunted a lot too.
The fact that Duke and Kentucky weren't even remotely considered to be a threat. North Carolina was
Yeah.
Like those teams, they're going to be back.
Yeah, the door was wide open.
Yeah.
I got a text that Owen will love. Hell of a start. Rory sucks.
Is he
He must be.
shitting the bed?
I don't know the number, but he must be doing really bad because I'm getting exclamation marks on it. And you had Roy. What did you have him plus 400 to miss the cut?
Yeah, 475.
Wow.
Nice.
Pretty solid in there. I thought he was kind of coming in struggling with a little confidence. Are you a Masters fan at all?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Brooks, obviously. Got to stay loyal
Friend
to
of the program.
podcast. Yeah.
Okay.
He's playing hurt right now.
He was even through par through
He's
9.
even through 9. He had a bogey and a birdie, but he's got a nice pink hat, so he looks great.
Awesome. Well,
He looks good, yeah.
Well, real quick before we get out of here, the golf season in full swing. Now is the perfect time to get out on the course. Trying to book a tee time? Look no farther as we are officially announcing the launch of the Barstool Golf Time app. In partnership with Supreme Golf, the Barstool Golf Time allows you to book tee times at thousands of courses. After you book, take a picture or video of the course you're on, submit an official review. Riggs, Frankie, Trent, and Lurch's reviews are on the app as well, so you can join them along with your friends. Check out the Barstool Golf Time app today. I want to thank our crew, TJ, Za, appreciate all you guys. Owen, Jake Marsh, and Big T, thank y'all for coming by. I'll be hosting again tomorrow. I know Smitty's going to make an appearance tomorrow. We'll have most of our crew back next week, and get well soon to Brandon Walker. And thank y'all for joining us for Pick Central. Stay tuned for the Yak up next.